Hello, welcome back to yet another Metabo tool review on The Thoughtful Carpenter. If you like, comment, or subscribe, I appreciate it, but I really don't care one way or the other because I'm just here to review some tools. So, without further ado, we have, I think this is new within about the last 12 months, something like that. I got it pretty much when it came out. It might be a little over a year old, can't quite remember. But this is the MT multi-tool, which is cool. You know, finally Metabo is figuring out what to call things. 18ltxqsl. Now, I know what Starlock is, which is what this system is. So if you are not familiar with Starlock, it is this bump out on the blade that interacts with the face here instead of multiple pins that you can kind of see on this blade. You'll see all those little lines around it. That's the old school style pins. What we want is the Starlock. Why do we want the Starlock? More power. What's happening is that when it interfaces, those little pins are going in and they're kind of wobbling around inside of there. It makes that pinging sound in your ear. You'll hear that blade going, mee! Drives me up the wall. So if you've ever used a Dremel, Milwaukee, DeWalt still uses it. There's a lot of other companies that still use it, but I prefer this method, which is the Starlock. These are mostly fine blades. There's a Metabo blade there and Bosch blades. Bosch and Fine got together and created Starlock, and now you've got Makita that just jumped on, and a few other companies, including my German friends here at Metabo. So the reason that I use Metabo over all of the other cordless companies is because of their consistency. They all make very high quality tools. All of their tools are good quality. You're not like, what's this piece of junk? It barely fucking works. Sorry about the language. Which tends to be the case when you're dealing with Milwaukee, DeWalt, Metabo HPT, for example, Makita. They tend to just get tools up and they get them out on the market as fast as they possibly can. They don't really do a ton of R&D. Now, I will say that Metabo, being a premium brand that I think, in my opinion, is a step above all of those brands that I just mentioned, and much more in the Festool, Mafel, the premium stuff that Bosch makes, the stuff that you see in shops, their big routers, that all I consider is a much higher level, including like Makita's air compressors, for instance. They make a really good high quality air compressors. I don't know why, but each brand tends to do one thing really well. Metabo across the board tends to do things really, really well. I like the size of this grip on this. The one thing that I think is a downside for them, which I don't know if they're in that control, is this stupid pin that comes out. Makita's in the same situation. It is a pretty quick change. I mean, and there's a magnet that's in the face of here. I would have liked to see like 4 or 5 magnets so that this actually stuck really, really well and I couldn't shake it off. But it sticks reasonably well. And then you throw the pin back in and you're off to the races. And to rotate it, you can just flip this forward, bring this down, bring it back over, and then lock that back in. So the other thing, light on the front, tons of adjustment and speed. I'm gonna go deaf. You probably won't because you've got computer speakers or whatever you're watching this on. So it is loud. It's loud, but not as loud as other oscillating tools that I've used before. There is quite a bit of vibration here, and the battery over the year that I've owned this has definitely gained some slop in here, and I'm not sure if that's on purpose, but it's definitely a good possibility. It actually tends to wear out. You'll see these spots here that it'll actually wear really hard against the surface of the battery. I do have a battery that's got a couple of indents from literally running this thing for like an hour nonstop straight. And by the way, my full-time job is a general contractor, carpenter. I do household remodeling in Washington, D.C., and currently right now here in New York. So I put my tools to work every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not using some tool on a job site. And I'm not light on my tools. I beat the living crap out of them. As several people will note that work with me. They're tools that are made to be used. At least that's my opinion. Zach Alfano, if you follow him on Instagram, obviously has his own thoughts on that. I tend to buy a lot of tools from him that are 2 years old and they look like they're brand new. But again, we all have our own thing, and mine is to use my tools and beat on them. His is to take care of them so that they take care of him. You know, he takes care of them so they take care of him. So anyway, Without further ado, let's do a quick cut test on some 2x, since that's probably what you're most likely here for. I'm going to use the largest blade that I have because the surface area will actually show a weakness. If you put this on a lesser made oscillating tool, it's not going to be able to keep up because it just doesn't have the ass in it to be able to push itself through the wood. The other downside that I found to this tool is that I can't put a belt hook on it and be able to fit it inside of a T-stack. I feel like it's something that they would have done is to make it a little bit narrower, but they make these big bulky hooks and it is what it is, so I don't have one on here. The other downside, and I've talked about that in previous videos, is that it uses this rubber here to rest against, so over time it tends to get a little shake in it. You can put a little hot glue on it, slap the belt hook on, and drive your screw in, and make sure you buy some blue or red Loctite for the screw because they don't come with Loctite, which seems like something that I would obviously do. But without further ado, I buy these tools to use. I'm not going to complain about not having a belt hook on my oscillating tool. I could have one on here. I could put hot glue it. I could Loctite it. I just would rather keep it in a T-stack, nice and safe inside of some foam, all laid out with its battery and all the accompanying parts. So, that is a used blade, by the way, because as we all know, at $10 a piece, you don't really want to be burning through blades all day, every day, and I'm not really here to be a performance showpiece for you to watch. Crank her up to 12. If you can go faster through a 2x8 with one of the other brands of oscillating tools, other than maybe a Fest tool, which is really just a fine with a fancy cover on it, and the fine, which is this super cut, those are probably the only two oscillating tools that are currently cordless like this on the market that can keep up with that. That is a beautiful tool. It does have quite a bit of vibration in the hand, but for the price point, I think it is $150. You're getting premium German engineering, Metabo powertrain, Cordless Alliance systems is out there in your Maffels, in your Lamellos, in all of your other Metabo tools. And I think there's like 30 other tool brands that are currently on the market right now with CAS. So if you want to start watching the market share get eaten alive by a German company, you're going to watch it happen over the next 4 or 5 years. I can almost guarantee it. Especially if I get to be part of it. That's what I like what I'm doing. Informing you guys. Like and subscribe or don't. Have a great day. Drop a comment if you need any answers. Peace.